Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who will. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawada from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video in sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it could be edifying. And I just want to go through Isaiah, the 34th chapter. All right, got to continue to push that vibration, the spirit of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. And according to prophecy, America will be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. In Isaiah, the 34th chapter, along with other chapters, details it well. All right, the Lord gave this vision to many different men. Okay, from Isaiah to Jeremiah to Malachi, Peter, all right, John the Revelator. All right, different men, saw this great and terrible day of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, all right, and America being destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. Okay, so let's go through this chapter, about 17 verses, not too long. All right, but, let's let the words speak, man, because, hey, the words of the Lord do not go out void. All right, they will come to pass. All right, just like Noah, prophesied for over 100 years. All right, and the Lord had him build his ark, even though you had gainsayers and naysayers. Those that didn't believe, guess what? They all died. Said, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So, and this time it's going to be by fire, man. All right, people don't believe that these nations will shoot their nukes off. All right, it seems like it's like, man, that's just like going to be a fucked up situation. Yes, it is. And the Lord's going to put the spirit in them to do it. Ezekiel, the 38th chapter goes into that. It's going to make Russia think an evil thought. And these nations are going to shoot their missiles upon America, man. All right. That's why you got Trump talking about, nuclear arsenals and being nuclear ready, and nobody knows nukes more than me and all that shit, All right. The Lord is preparing that great and terrible day, man. All right. It's fastly approaching. So let's get into it. Isaiah, the 34th chapter, in the first verse, it says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it." All right, so we're prophesying unto the nations of the judgment that the Lord is about to bring. All right, because what did the Lord say? The former things that come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. All right, so the Lord, tells you what he's going to do before he does it. Verse 2, "For the indignation of the Lord," that's the Lord's righteous anger. "The indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." All right, but what's this? Because this prophecy hasn't come to pass yet. All right, these Christians think that the Lord just loves everybody. No. So why would the Lord's indignation and his fury be upon all the nations and their armies? It says, "In his fury upon all their armies, he have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." All right, so it's representation of a lot of bloodshed that's about to take place, man. A lot of death. Okay. Verse 4, it says, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." And so, Isaiah was describing this in the best way that he could, but he saw that mushroom cloud. Because now that they have this technology, and we've seen them do tests, we've seen them drop, the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which they just actually commemorated 80 years yesterday since that went down. All right. And the scriptures say what? The second woe was come to pass, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right. And this, according to Isaiah 9:5, this war shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So it's going to be those nukes. And those nukes cause mushroom clouds. So it's going to be a massive mushroom cloud. They said when Russia tested the Tsar bomber, the mushroom cloud was fucking massive, man. So it says, "And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down," meaning their armies. "And as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree," right? Because the missiles are going to go up into the atmosphere and come down and pelt the earth, man. Verse 5, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea," and Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom, "and upon the people of my curse to judgment." So that's why Esau runs from that name, Esau, him being an Edomite. All right, but now he's been revealed. right? Because in the scriptures, you can't get around it. Whoever the Edomites are in the Bible, the Lord hates them, and he has a judgment for them specifically, you know? It says, verse 6, it's like the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord have a sacrifice in Basra, which is the capital of Edom, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And that's representation of America today. It's like America today, you know. So that's America. Verse 7, it says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Right, the Lord is doing this for us, for the controversy of Zion. Why? Because Esau has us in the land of our captivity, and here it is, we're standing up upon our feet and proclaiming our heritage, and they're still trying to deny it, and they're still going to try to kill us, man. All right, so the Lord is doing this. He's going to make these nations shoot their missiles upon America. Verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. All right, all signs lead to America being burned the fuck up, man. Verse 10, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So this is speaking about, this hasn't happened yet, you know. It's speaking about a place that's going to be inhabited, but then never inhabited again, man. It can't be talking about ancient Babylon, you know. It's not talking about the land of Edom either. It's talking about America. All right, verse 11. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. All right, these are unclean birds. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stone of emptiness. And they shall call the nobles thereof the kingdom, but none shall be there. And all her princes shall be nothing. All right, and also it speaks about that in Isaiah the 13th chapter, you know, about these doleful creatures dwelling there. You know, unclean creatures are going to be here. It's not going to be inhabited by man. Verse 13, and thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls. Once again, those unclean creatures. Verse 14, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry in his fellow, and the screech owl shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. And the Lord is speaking about this. The Lord is declaring that, you know, we live in America right now, but when it gets destroyed, all right, the very land, you know, that we're standing on, all right, that we're living on right now, soon will be a desert, and it's going to be inherited by nothing but desert creatures, man. All right, that's the power of the word of Yahweh Bashim al-Shah. He's going to bring this to pass. Which means what? America and its structure and you know, the power structure thereof is going to be destroyed. It's going to be put down. It says in verse 15. Or actually, verse 14 again. It says, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, and everyone with her mate. Verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Not one of these shall fail. No one of these shall fail, meaning the prophecies. No one of the prophecies shall fail, including the nuclear destruction. None shall want her mate, which means you can't pair this book with anything else. Prophecy stands alone, man. Okay, you might go into different books like the Josephus and whatnot, you know, that goes into secular history, but ultimately, you know, everything that we need is found within the scriptures. You know, history, prophecy, the law, you know, the Acts of the Apostles, all that. It says, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. It says, he have cast the lot for them, and his hand have divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So the Lord has allotted these desert creatures to be inhabited by a desolate America, Babylon the Great. And the Lord is promising to make America desolate, man. That's the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And there's many other chapters like this. And, we're going to continue to prophesy of the destruction. Isaiah 28:8 says that the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many nations and great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. So that's what we're prophesying of, and we're not going to do it. We're saying the Lord is going to cause this to happen. He's going to cause these nations to shoot their missiles. He's going to cause the destruction of Babylon. Okay. So Isaiah the 34th chapter embodies that perfectly, man. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Makakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who will. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time, Shalom.